I think I did want to be a designer from an early age. It's funny, I was at home with my mum and dad last weekend and we were sort of talking about me as a kid, reinventing my bedroom, a travel agency to a florist, you know. I just was always obsessed with interiors and how they made you feel. I'm David Flack and I am the founder of Flack Studio. We are an interior design and architecture and design studio based here in Melbourne, Australia. From year 7, I knew that I wanted to study interior design. So I started studying that, straight out of high school, dropped out, studied business, went back. Partly the reasons I was dropping out was probably confidence. I'd moved from the country to the city and I probably didn't know where I sat. From there on, it's almost like this sort of growth of confidence. I wouldn't say I'm innately a very confident person, but I think it's something that you work through and it develops over time. I'm very confident in my work. And I think that's just like a self-intuition or a gut feeling where you just know what feels right. The more you practice, confidence is kind of just sitting beside you. It's a question I get asked all the time, is there a Flack aesthetic? And I think there is, but I think ultimately all the projects are very different. I think the underlying score of what our projects are about is about process. Part of process is our materials library. I would say this is my favorite part. It's almost like to conceptualize the project, what are the materials? So very early on, we'll have these out and we'll just sort of like be playing, investigating what feels right. There's a through line through the whole project, but each room is like a different world, different tone, a different feeling, a different use. So you start to see these beautiful spaces kind of spawn off. It's like, how do you create that effortlessness? So it's almost like when it's finished, it's already sort of aged or worn in. So if someone says, oh, when was this finished? I think that's a big compliment. The team at Flack is probably, that is my most prized possession, I would say. We kind of do everything, right? And I think to be a great designer, you have to do everything. You're not just sitting there detailing. You need to understand the whole project. We always talk about the community, about the ecosystem that kind of exists around the studio. That is what makes our work so unique and so special. And I think it drives us to keep creating. Quite often they're experimenting and learning with us because we have the ability to create commissions or something really special. I remember once, one of my favorite clients, she texted me, said 10 things. My initial thought was, oh my God, what's wrong? Is this 10 defects or something? And it was like 10 things I love about this house after a year of being here. Like the movement of the sun or, how the light touches this texture or how pleasant this is at nighttime. And I used to hate that room, now it's my favorite room. So all these beautiful nuances that go into the house and then they're starting to experience it and inhabiting the space. So that's when you realize that we're creating something really special.